So let's take off the body and see just how bad the damage is, shall we? Hello there everybody, Sam's Trains here, welcome back to the railway. Today I've got a little bit of bad news for you. I mean, it's nothing serious, but I guess it is, but not really. My beautiful Hornby Railroad 9F has finally bit the dust. Unfortunately, mazak rot has claimed this loco, and if you don't know what mazak rot is, stay tuned. I'll talk to you about it in just a second. I did do a video about this before. Another of my locos, the Hornby T9, did sort of fail to mazak rot at one point. If you want to check that out, I'll include a link up there for you. However, I service my locos quite regularly. This one's been serviced every year for the past 7 or 8 years. So I've known about this issue for a while and I have been able to buy some spares, and I'm hoping I'll be able to repair it today. But I thought since this has happened and it is quite interesting and quite dramatic, I thought I would talk a little bit about it. So with the 9F, the first thing actually that went wrong with it was not with the loco, but it was with the tender. So I was cleaning the wheels of the tender, as you often do, and the entire tender just crumbled away, or rather the chassis did. So I was cleaning the wheels just fell away onto the inside of the body, and when I inspected it closely, the whole chassis had just crumbled to dust. It had just completely gone. So if you look at this, as you can see, I've bodged it. I took out the broken chassis and literally just hot glued the bearings. Luckily it does have a proper set of bearings. Just glued the bearings onto the body of the tender. It doesn't have pickups anymore, which is a shame, but it is now a functioning tender again, whereas before it was just a complete mess. So I knew that mazak rot was going to claim the loco at some point. And sure enough, about a year ago, I was servicing the 9F and I noticed that some of the motor mountings, those are the metal pieces that hold the motor in place, had started to crack and they started to look as though they were going to fail. However, at the time, about a year ago, it was still working fine. So what I thought is, you know, I'm going to order some spare parts, which I've done, and I'll show you those in a second. But while it works, I'm going to keep it in there and just see how far this goes before the loco breaks down. Well, everything was fine as far as I knew until just yesterday when I put the loco onto the track for a test run, and nothing. It just made slight motor buzzing noise, but the loco did not move, and I thought, hey up, we've got a problem here. So we're going to take this apart today. We're going to have a look at the inside. We're going to take a look at the mazak rot and see if we can't replace the broken parts. It is the motor mountings that have gone bad. Well, I hope it is. That's all that was going bad last time. The rest of the chassis, last time I opened the loco up, that is, looked absolutely fine. So I bought these. These are replacement motor mounting brackets. I got them on eBay. I think Peter's Spares, really cheap. They cost me £2.80. And these look absolutely fine. There's no cracks or anything like that in them, so I'm hoping they're going to be fine. So let's open up the loco and find out just what's gone wrong. Fingers crossed it is what I think it is. So what is mazak rot? It's also known as zinc pest, and it occurs due to the presence of lead impurities in zinc alloys. It's not a new problem by any means. Research was carried out on this way back in the 1920s, and products made from about 1960 onwards were thought to be free of the problem. Yet here we are in 2020 and we have Hornby products from the last 10 years which are suffering from mazak rot, which suggests that they've used poor or inconsistent quality zinc alloys with obviously lead impurities in them. The issue is supposedly accelerated by humidity, so keep that in consideration. If you're going to store locos, say in the loft or something like that, that can affect it. And it manifests to begin with just with small surface cracks or pitting, which worsens over time, eventually weakening the object and making it really brittle and prone to breakage. In model railways, different batches may or may not be affected with these zinc impurities, depending on the quality of the alloy used at any given time. There's no way to prevent mazak rot as far as we know. People have sort of investigated dipping objects in vinegar and things like that to try and fix the issue, but supposedly none of that really works. The only way to avoid the problem is to use good quality base materials without any impurities. Okay, so let's remove the body then and take a look at the damage. Oh, right, so the damage is obvious right from the very beginning. If I show you a close-up, you can clearly see all of that cracking and pitting going on with that motor mounting bracket. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to try and take it out and I will show you just how brittle that has become. And I speak from experience because I saw it for myself with the T9. So let's get that off. Do notice though, as I'm doing this, the rest of the chassis, touch wood, appears not to have any cracking in it whatsoever, which suggests that it might have been made on a different batch with different material and may not ever suffer with the same problem. But the motor mountings and certainly the tender chassis, yeah, definitely completely ruined. Okay, I had a bit of trouble getting those off. Well, this one I think must have warped because it was really difficult to get it off, and I'm imagining that it must have been touching the flywheel here and stopping it spinning, because now that it's off, the flywheel and the motor and the gear, rather, the worm drive, are free to turn. So let's give this a try then. I'm going to focus in and we'll see if this is easy to break. If there's no problem with this, I should not be able to break it with my hands. Right, let's give this a try. Oh yeah. Piece came off straight away. See if I can break the whole thing in half. Try and keep it in shot. Oh, very easily done. The whole thing, in fact, is just crumbling away into nothing. The rear one, the one that actually held the other end of the motor in, doesn't seem too bad. Is it bad? Oh yeah, it's just crumbling to nothing. Oh, that one came off very easy. Yeah, so it doesn't look so bad, but it is still bad. Although, yeah, that part's not too bad. Right, let's just try with the new parts that I've ordered and see if these are as easy to break. You ready? Oh no. No, that's going to cut into my fingers before that becomes a problem. Right, let's get these fitted to the loco then and see if that has fixed the problem. Looking at the chassis, I can't see any other problems, so I'm really hoping that the affected parts have now been removed. So the one that covers the flywheel, much better fit. That one went on without any problems. And it's actually hugging the rest of the chassis a lot more closely than the last one was. I remember you could see the flywheel between the gaps in the thing because it had warped. Can't see the flywheel now, which is good. Right, let's get all this back together then, and we'll put it onto the track and see if the loco will work again. Fingers crossed. Okay folks, it's on the track. It is on DC seat, so I've hooked up my Hornby Select controller. This is one of my oldest locos. I've had this since my very first year of being interested in model railways. I am not prepared to let this loco just go in the bin. So please cross your fingers. Here we go, first test. Oh, it's dead already. Hang on. Yep. Oh, thank goodness for that. Oh, I thought we were in for it then. I think it was just the express point. Try again. Yeah, we're okay, I think. Does it seem okay? No nasty noises. Looks pretty smooth. Oh, phew. I'm glad about that. I do love this loco, and it would be really awful to lose it. Anyway, I thought I would, just to celebrate, in the event that it actually worked, I thought I would celebrate by running some wagons. So there we have it. There's a bit of a rake there, not very many, but just enough to do a bit of a test. So let's back her up then, set her to backwards. There we go, and couple up. Okay, lovely. Okay, forwards we go then, and see how it gets on. Not too quick, of course. Nice. Well, all seems to be working, which is great news. So there you have it then, folks, mazak rot. Hopefully something in Hornby's past. I must say, none of Hornby's recent models seem to have problems with this. It's more with locos that are sort of 10 or more years old. The biggest problem is, though, of course, you don't know a loco has it until many years down the line, usually long after the warranty period has ended, which is, of course, one of the biggest problems. So yeah, folks, check your locos. Make sure that they're not crumbling to dust without you realising. And hopefully, most of the time, you're able to get spares and make repairs. Sometimes you're not. Sometimes locos do have to be chucked away, which is, of course, a terrible shame. But I hope that was interesting. Have you ever had a mazak rot issue that you've known about? Let me know in the top corner in the poll. It's very interesting, isn't it? Also quite scary to think that some locos, and you don't know which ones, one day might just crumble away. Either way, it's one of those problems that you can't help but face if you collect model railway things. We just have to trust in manufacturers that they've sorted out this problem and that they're using good quality zinc alloys these days. Okay, well, mine seems to be working now, thank goodness. You can do the same, use eBay, get some parts if you need them. For now though, thanks for watching, thanks for joining me. I hope you enjoyed that, as somber as the subject was, and I will see you very soon on the next one. Cheers everybody, take care.